welcome to Artini. I'm Kim Ratliff, your host, and my co-host over here in Florida,
Tammy Bruce.
And how are you today? I'm good too.
I'm good.
It's been a while. I know life is busy, so these are not like weekly. Sorry, folks, but stay tuned.
They'll get there once we get our groove going. When Stella gets her groove back.
Yes. In honor of our artist that we're talking about today, we have dressed up, and this will be out on Halloween, and then the day after is Day of the Dead. So I have my shirt that says, "Being creative makes me feel alive." And if you don't have, you can see it on YouTube video when I figure out how to post these things.
And I just did Cheers Witches in honor of our Artini. Do you have your drink?
And we have our Frida Kahlo is our artist. We have our Frida Kahlo floral headbands on. So cheers.
Cheers.
I have a coffee cup because it is morning time on my side of the planet. I have coffee and Mr. Coffee liqueur in there. And what do you have?
I have this new thing. It's by Happy Valley. It's a tea. It's an alternative to cocktail. You can put alcohol in it, but it gives you all the flavors of an alcohol.
Like a fancy mocktail thing.
So it's got a little bit of vodka in it.
Cool.
So you don't use all this, the fake stuff.
Putting like all that sugar and all the bad things that are in the kind.
That's really good.
Thing. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, my dog just banged into the.
That's all right. I'm going to take it.
So this week,
my glasses off.
Talk about Frida Kahlo of pain and drama with a paintbrush. We both watched, just so if you want to watch it, we both watched the Frida Kahlo movie and the documentary on Amazon Prime. Or did you watch both?
I've watched the movie a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I watched the documentary. I love the movie.
Yeah. And then, so just to cut to the chase for you folks out there, the documentary is narrated by Frida Kahlo and the movie is like verbatim.
Yeah.
With all of her, like from her journals that fills in the gaps and all that. Yeah. So there's a little more in the movie, but it is from her journal resources, even though some of that isn't in her documentary that she narrates. And so, and I'll put all this in the show notes. Okay. So, she was born in 1907 in Mexico City. But claimed 1910 to align herself with the Mexican Revolution, because why not make your birth revolutionary too? I guess. I don't know. Her childhood marked by illness, polio, and later a horrific bus accident.
What I thought was neat about her childhood was that her mother was Catholic, devout, and she saw it as sort of a cult. And her dad was an atheist or agnostic. I think he was an atheist. Okay. Anyway, her dad was agnostic, which was kind of interesting to have those two dynamics in one house.
Very modern. You could find that today, but not back then in the early 1900s. No. Although we're finding that a lot of people just did things like this and just didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So.
But nowadays, people put such a emphasis on, how do you want to raise your children? How are you going to do this? And back then it was just like, look, we love each other. We're going to get married and we'll each have an influence and we'll see where it goes. Almost.
Well, particular family.
Yeah. But there's a lot more than that. Just.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a majority of
I think you're right. There wasn't as many, but it's interesting that they did that and it worked for them because they stayed married. So everything, they were happily married the whole time. And he was a painter, right? Was he? Yeah, he was a painter, and she would paint with him. And she was very feisty and cheeky and a rule breaker as a kid. So it's not the fact that, she had all these things that pushed her to be like that. She was like that before any of these things had happened to her. Well, and the fact that back then she stepped out and wore men's clothes with this group. What was the name of it? The whole documentary you had to read pretty much.
Well, yes, the documentary was completely in Spanish in her own words, but the movie was in English.
Okay, so there was a point.
I don't think I wrote down. I don't think I wrote down the name of the group she was with. I have a list of famous flings that she had.
Trablize or something like that. But anyway. Okay. Can you, I mean, hang on. Hang on. See, I keep getting,
We're having
we
technical
are, you freeze and then
difficulties. I mean, she was born in 1907 in Mexico City and claimed 1910 to align herself with Mexican Revolution because why not make her birth revolutionary too? And then I guess she had polio.
Yes.
And she was a teenager after the polio thing, and then she would go and spy on Diego Rivera painting with her friends because he would have affairs with his models and stuff, and they were
Well,
like spying on them.
But so prior to that, when she was in college, I thought was really kind of neat that in college, she, like I said, she wanted to be a doctor and they wouldn't let her come downstairs.
I think that was in grade school and then
Okay.
college.
Whatever school
that-
she was in, they wouldn't let her, let her do the boys' classes. So she hung out with this small group of people who just took her in as one of the boys. And then she would wear suits just to wear a suit and to kind of, seemed like she wanted to piss off her mom sometimes too.
That's what I
But
felt
yeah,
too.
so she went to spy on Diego.
I mean, so that goes to show the age gap.
Well, she
already.
was 18 when she met him.
And she was very pushy with like wanting his opinion of her paintings and stuff. And she said, I would never sleep with you.
Oh.
And then they made an agreement to just be friends. And then like in the next second, they're sleeping together.
It seemed like he was the only one she ever truly loved. And it was very interesting because he never gave that until the end. You know what I mean? He never let up on that. Right. But she had many lovers before him, because that's how, when she got in the accident, she was with Amor Alex. She loves
the boy. This is before, this is before Diego Garcia. She was with the boy. And it was that time that they got on the trolley, got into an accident. In the movie, they made it kind of symbolic visually. There was a guy on the trolley that had a bag of gold dust or something, and she was infatuated with it and asking about it. And then in the accident, and she woke up, she was covered. She was broken and covered in gold. So like even her accident in the movie was glorious. I don't know if it was embellished because they
she
didn't
did
mention,
when she read her
like all of those
she read her
details
diary, because that was just because when Alex was talking about the wreck, he said the pole had gone straight through her and it shattered her spine. Yeah. And the part that killed me was he said that the scream was so loud, it was louder than the ambulance. It was louder than the ambulance. It was something I
believe it. I could imagine. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty gruesome accident. And then she was bedridden for a while in a cast, and all she could do was paint her cast that she was in.
To go through all that pain, and then her mother must have been somewhat of a, her mother knew that she loved her father's paint set because her father would always have it in the back, and she'd always sneak in there and kind of play with it. But when she had this accident, her mother engineered this contraption so she could paint on her back, which is really ingenious of her mom.
With a mirror up on the top of the canopy and everything.
Yeah, so she could do paintings of herself, which were it was
very deep.
From her I learned
her paintings were very deep at the time. It was just everything she painted was like her feelings and of herself and in that moment.
I wish I had that confidence to do something like that. You know what I mean? Just to be able to not care what you're painting it for. You know what I mean?
Well, to do it on purpose without a situation. I mean, she was in a situation, so she was just, and she was a woman who was not given the opportunity to be making paintings to make a living off of it because women didn't do, all the things were against her anyway. So all the women, not only just her, but all the women back then would paint for themselves. And so they had nothing to lose.
That's yes,
Point
you
of
said
view,
it right.
different concept to them.
Right. It was if they couldn't make, like you said, they couldn't make money from it, so they didn't really care what they painted because nobody was going to like it anyway and nobody was going to buy it. So why not paint for yourself? But I loved what she said is she had to paint. And I feel that sometimes. I feel like I have to paint. I think about it constantly. I just get paralyzed in my own thoughts of what to paint. I worry too much about what I'm painting.
Yeah. And what you need to do is to just do it. Just do it, because the more you do it, then it evolves and then it loosens up that muscle and let go of those thoughts.
Well, it's funny, listening to her and all that, I was thinking, my grandmother is the one taught me to paint. I'm not sure about you. My grandma taught me to paint because I have dyslexia and I wasn't much of a reader. So she taught me to paint. So I'd have a craft anyway, or a hobby. Anyway, the point of the story is, when she's talking about, she feels like she has to paint. That's where that's where she is. I feel that too, but I come from a grandmother who was in the Depression. So you never wasted anything. So I have all this canvas and I'm scared to use it unless I know exactly what I'm going to do with it because I don't want to waste it. But the idea is I'm wasting it anyway because it's not doing anything. So I love that Frida just had paintings all over and she just painted to paint. And if she didn't like them, she added to them. And if she, she started out, that was just interesting to me. Like you said, she had nothing to lose.
You don't either. You don't have anything.
And neither do we. We don't have anything to lose.
My loft is becoming this now. It's great.
But I also think we live in a time of media where we want to be in the media. We want to be on social media so bad. We want somebody to see what we're seeing, want somebody to feel what we're feeling, that we forget what we're feeling.
I've had to let go of that.
That's good. I'm still working on it.
Anyway, yeah, I had like a mental breakdown over it at one point, but we could talk about that some other time. But it was like an identity crisis because I was doing paintings I wasn't doing paintings for myself. I was trying what would sell, and that was driving me crazy. And then I had to be like, I can't shut up, just paint what you want to paint. And someone will like it and just keep going.
And I think that goes along with the Frida thing and the Diego thing. Both of them, pretty much any artist who's ever made it, is they didn't care about what other people thought. That most of these people were oddballs, like the rest of us who paint.
And then when she did get together with the highball artist, she was not impressed with them.
She did not like them.
That's like going on social media and then quitting it.
Exactly.
That's what it was. But it was easier because it was one-on-one socializing. And so you just chose not to socialize with them and you just, stay in your own bubble.
Well, it was neat to see that when she went to New York with Diego, when he got commissioned to do the big New York State Building in New York, it was neat that she would be around all these people, the people she kind of strived to be in Mexico. But when she got around them in New York, she's like, oh my God, they're idiots. They talk about themselves constantly. They've had no struggles. Their biggest worry is what they're going to wear, and she was saying that's where she started embracing her Mexican tradition. That's where she started embracing the whole, I don't know what they call it, but the traditional Mexican,
the dress,
which was more
dressing.
Yes.
The fashion.
Which was more a poverty thing versus the upper echelon.
She was embracing and showing and sharing her own culture that way through that.
Yes. She was sharing everything about herself.
Expression. As well as like wearing the suits was her own expression, but this was more of a bigger statement that she was rooting herself in. Let me see.
But she did not like Americans.
And I don't blame her. I wasn't impressed with what she had been journaling about them either. I was, I'm like, girl, I don't blame you.
But you have to remember, too, she painted, what was it called that she didn't like it? Oh, later on, she realized what it was. Surrealism? Not surrealism.
Surrealism.
What was it called?
Realized that that's what she was doing.
Right. She didn't realize it, but she painted surrealism, and the American culture didn't understand that.
because she was very much ahead of the game on that one. Because with American culture, it had to be chic and classy, and
Whereas in
you
Europe,
weren't.
they had, you
This is
know,
bothering me.
Dolly and them already doing their stuff, which was surreal. And
Right,
it hadn't really come
right.
over yet at that time. Or if it did, they weren't embracing it yet. But she
No,
did, I mean, through every trial and tribulation that she had in her life, she would draw from it. I mean, she would paint in that feeling and express herself in all these paintings.
you know what I thought was kind of interesting, that everybody who tells her story, how they bring her paintings to
I
life.
loved it.
It's kind of interesting that they would do that. Like, did she paint series? Like, did she paint like her in the bed, the one where she had the miscarriage? Did she paint her in the bed? Then did she paint another one with her in the bed and then the umbilical cord, and then another one where the baby's taken? And then did she paint a series like that, or was it all one
I
painting?
think it's one painting and then they animated it.
I think it was too, but it was
Yes.
neat how they, I don't want to say tore it apart, but how they
They
manipulated
animated it. It was like an
Yeah,
immersion, like when you go to an immersion show. It was
right,
like that. And
right.
it was very cool. And it brings it to life because this is her vision. Like the animated version is probably her actual vision of what it was. Like the
Yeah,
movement, the heart beating, the baby taken away. So
right.
to backtrack with this baby and the heartbreak and all that, her and Diego did have a baby together. She got
Yeah,
pregnant
sorry.
and they told she was having a miscarriage and there were complications and they took the baby away and she demanded to see the baby. And back in those days, it was just like, something went wrong and it was like, protect the parents at all cost and just deal with it. And she's like, no. And she,
I don't think they ever let her. Did they
I
ever let her see? I
no,
don't think they
but
did.
like in the movie, it was like taking your tonsils home. Yeah. I mean, this might be just for the
Wait, because Diego went and fought for her. He was like, look, she's not like your
yeah, she
normal
needs
person.
the
She's
baby,
not going to crack. This is going to inspire her.
which was nice. That was
Yeah.
part of his love and understanding of her. Like they were both, despite everything, but despite his like massive infidelity and their cosmic partners that they've had and painting each other's souls and driving each other mad, they were each other's soulmate despite all of this. And when shit got really bad or whatever, they were always there for each other and they always still felt something for each other. So they got married. They had a baby. He had an affair with her sister and then she divorced him. And that was
Right.
hard. I can imagine.
Well, I think after you have an affair with your sister, you're kind of like, yeah,
He doubled down this time.
we're
And you're
done.
like, really?
Right. But did you, okay, and this is so snooty, snobby, I don't care, whatever. None of these people were overly
No.
attractive. That's the part that just, when you hear about, sorry, I keep adjusting this because my eyes look blacked out and I'm trying not to. No, but when you hear about, oh, the sister was the prettiest one and she just adored her. She thought she was beautiful. And then you see pictures and you're just like, huh.
For their
Interesting.
culture, I guess, the beauty in the eye of the
Well, no,
beholder.
you're right. You're right. But Diego, come on. I know there were a bunch of better looking
Diego,
Mexican
for
dudes than that
sure.
one.
I mean, she called that so.
Diego, totally for sure.
I mean, it's got to be love if, like, you're not attracted, to the body.
And I don't mean that in a sense that people aren't beautiful on the inside. I just mean as womanizing as he was, that's an automatic you're not attractive in the first place. And then as confident in his stature as he was.
It was his personality and his gentleness, and he would draw people in. But that's just how he was, like when he was with.
Well, on him for 1 second about back to going to New York. It was very interesting to me that he was a known communist. And what was it? Ford or who? Hoover that had him come in and paint?
I think it
Was
was,
it
I
Ford?
want to say Ford. I don't have my note.
Ford. Yeah, had him come in and paint the state building, knowing he's
I
a
know.
communist.
He said he just loved the artwork itself, and he was painting blue collar people as per usual. And then he added Stalin without telling or asking anybody. I'm
That's when he lost his
thinking to
fame
myself,
in the States.
duh, why do you have this artist? Of
Why would-
course he's going to go rogue if he can.
He's a known communist. Why did we hire him to paint something in the United States? What was the hand that was dealing in that one? You know what I mean?
Was art the only loophole for him to even come over here as
Yeah.
an open communist? I mean, really, like all of it is a red flag.
But the cool thing is she got to meet all of these other
Mhm.
gentlemen,
A new inspiration.
and like Diego's assistant, that he was absolutely in love with her.
That's
She must have been very
that
invested.
Leon Trotsky, I think, right? The German guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she had several people. I mean, like several.
Well, all right, I have a list. The list of famous flings is Leon Trotsky. Yep, the Russian revolutionary crashing at their house. Him and his wife crashed at their house because
Mm-hmm. Well, he fell in love with her and was writing her
there.
letters and like would not leave her alone. And she was done with him. Like she did have an affair with him, but she's like, dude, you're old. I'm done.
Yeah, Andy's married, and I think that's what it was, the wife factor. And they were both staying in the house together. So it was like so weird, all the vibe. She also slept with photographer Nicholas Murray, whose color portraits of her are iconic. And she slept with several women, including Georgia
O'Keeffe.
Yeah.
Who was yours? I'm sorry.
Chevela Vargas.
Okay.
She was a very prominent singer in Mexico at the time.
Okay.
And that was one of those relationships like that was portrayed in the movie where she would do this tango with her and like with all these people in a restaurant or whatever you call it. Yeah. And then
well, Diego knew she was bi. I don't think she realized she was bi until later. But Diego knew she was bi.
And he was okay with it. I mean,
of course
he was.
Of course.
She was very open.
But I think that was part of why he allowed her to divorce him. That was my take, is that, well, she's bi, you know, she's creative, she's bi, she's lost her own, you know, she needs to find her own way. I'm going to go ahead and divorce you.
Well, that and the fact that he felt bad that he can't stop womanizing and the guilt of hurting her. If you love something, set it free was the thing.
Right.
And so that's what I meant by
yeah, but that's about if you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, it's yours. He was the one not coming back. You know what I mean?
Well, he did at the end.
Don't give it away. We're not there yet. I feel sorry for her for how much pain she was in her entire life.
And imagine having to keep getting news that they have to break your back again to like reset it, and then to be hung by your head to straighten your neck and to just hang. There's all those archaic things. And then her foot was injured. And they had to eventually amputate her toes because of gangrene.
How we got to put this all in order because I forgot something that I thought was very interesting. I'm so sorry. But the fact that back in because this was in
early 1900s.
What did she say? 30 something, when she wanted to have an abortion. And I thought it was very interesting. She mentioned abortion at that time.
Wait, was this,
you know what I mean?
The child.
This is when she was pregnant with Diego. She wanted to have an abortion
because of her accident and having injury to her vajayjay.
Well, she wanted the abortion, and she was in the U.S., and the U.S. doctor's like, no, because it was illegal here. And she's like, no, I really don't think my body will take it. And they're like, no, you've got this. You can do this. You can, you know, I don't think her doctors in Mexico would have agreed with them, but it was the U.S.
I don't even know if
And
the
that's where she
doctors
had,
in Mexico, I don't even know what the procedure would be.
well, it's like I said, it's interesting that
Well,
they,
they even talked
now I
about
gotta
it,
look that
yeah.
up, but
But I mean, she was thinking ahead of her times, even for that. Like, you
right,
know, it could be
right,
bad, or she was trying to protect herself from a miscarriage.
right. Well, she knew she wanted a child that looked like Diego again. Really? And then if it was a girl, she wanted to look like her. Okay, I get
Yes,
that. But, and then when she lost it, like we said, if we go back and change all this, and when she lost it, I think that's when her and Diego just kind
that
of,
was devastating to
you
go
know,
through all that.
that,
And
yeah.
it is for
Well, and they
anybody.
weren't home. They were in the US, and then they get kicked out about that
Mm-hmm.
time because he paints
Right.
Stalin. Then they go back and he starts into his painting, and then her sister sleeps with him.
Mm-hmm.
For the love of Lord, have
Sweet
mercy.
Jesus.
Right. But yeah, I think that's when she goes into her, like you said, she's got to start having all these surgeries to
And
help her
she's going
through.
through
And
depression because of all of it. You know, there's like
right,
losing a child and having to go through all of that when she could have tried to have an abortion. Diego's situation, and then more surgeries. I mean, I would totally be going through depression too. So much going on.
well, because she was 47 when she passed.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine all that pain in that short
No.
amount of time? I mean, we're in our 50s now, so we kind of I just that's so mind blowing that more than half her life was in some sort of cast or body
Yes.
armor or not able to move because she had the polio, then she had the wreck,
Then she had all these.
and then they had to fix her and fix her and
Yeah.
fix her, and that's just
And
crazy.
even her
Well,
leg,
who was the
not just that her back was broke or that the pole went through her body, but I think it was her left hip, her
from the
right
polio?
leg, and her foot was messed up. Yeah. It wasn't just her back, it was like all these other things all the time.
Right.
Kudos for her for having lived such a full life like that.
Such a painful life, but also such an open to her
Right.
sexuality. Because you would think a lot of people would be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so scarred and tattered, and I have all these limps and stuff." Nope, she was all out there. She was
Sometimes I wonder if that is what drove her to say, fuck it, I'm going to live the way I want to live and accept all my feelings because I don't know. I have a time limit.
That's a good thought. That really is a good thought because
Lose
honestly,
again with the painting I mean, she was always concerned about her painting. She was always hopeful. She always had that voice of, I don't know, holding her back a little bit.
well, then what was his name that took her to, she was going to have her very first gallery showing.
Later after the divorce, after the sister thing,
Yeah.
they went to Paris. And
She took 25 paintings and sold 12, which was just amazing.
And the guy, wait, who was, do I even have that in my notes? The guy who organized the show, he actually brought a bunch of tchotchkes from Mexico to sell on the side, all these like little things. And she's like, it's all garbage from the market. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking.
Right.
And then again, unimpressed with all the artists there, and was like, yeah, all right, thanks for the sales, I'm out.
Well, just thinking about that, being unimpressed with all the artists around the world, like you got to think Diego's art was an expression. You know what I mean? It was the communist, the common worker, that kind of thing. Her art was feelings. I could see because I'll be honest with you,
Guys,
there are some artists I see out there.
Other than Bob Ross, no guy paints their feelings.
No, but there's some artists out there I look at and I'm like, how do you sell that? No, I mean, I'm not being ugly. Well, I guess I am, but I'm not seeing it. So I could see where she goes there and she's seeing all these pompous people and they're not painting really, their paintings have no feeling.
Painting from the heart. She's painting from the heart.
Right.
And I guess with those type of paintings, it sells to people that can connect with it. And they weren't giving that type of painting a chance back then. Everything had to be purposeful.
No. Yes.
And they were not thinking out of the box yet.
And perfect.
Or perfect in your style. Like Monet is not perfect. It's kind of like painting with your glasses off, but it's committed style. And it's of parks
Right.
and beautiful things.
Right. It's of things that you can see.
And
It's
for
not
her,
surreal.
it's
It's not a
very
surreal.
it's very provocative with emotion. So, and there's a lot of pain. I mean, there's an anatomically correct heart. Like back then, like it's like having science illustrations in your house. Like nobody wanted that or could
No.
appreciate it because no one could wrap their head around this new concept of this surreal. And what does that mean? Surreal art.
Right.
I mean, clearly we can appreciate it now. We understand these things and can talk about it. But back then it was just like this lady's woo woo.
I think and then that brings after that, I guess that's when she started having some more surgeries. And then Diego comes in and he's like, feels really sorry for her and wants to marry her again. But she only marries
Under
him
condition.
if she can. Yep. She wants to pay her own way. She wants to pay half the bills. She wants, she wants her art to mean something, not just she's just painting it to paint it. She wants to use it as a tool.
She's
to make
ready
money.
to make a living off of her paintings and make that effort.
But did you also read the part where her other stipulation was they could never have sex? And he actually did it.
Well, that is something he can commit to.
That was crazy. I mean, honestly, at the end, like you said, he truly did love her. Because at the end, when he married her the last time, he was like, yes, I will marry you. You can pay half of everything. And because he was a womanizer, he did not want his women to work. He did not want someone bringing in money or, he believed in her art, but he didn't believe that she should sell it. That's what I gathered. I may be wrong, but
I don't understand that part because they didn't explore him as much and his reasonings behind things, but he might have been a man of the times where he was encouraging to her and yet still holding her down. Because if he was in it to win it with her, he could have used his influence to organize an exhibition, a solo exhibition just for her earlier.
Right. That was the last kind thing he did for her.
And it seemed like it was a favor to her death.
Yeah, because they brought her in her bed. Like she couldn't even get up. And they finally did a solo gallery show. And people came and praised her. And
she got all dressed up. It was amazing. And praised her paintings and all that. But I mean, it shouldn't have happened so last minute.
But in her 47 years, I mean, she really did experience a lot, especially from someone, was not in the art world starting off. You know what I mean?
Because even
like she forced her way into Diego.
Yes.
If she would not have done that, that probably would never have happened. You know what I mean? She forced her way in and said, you like him or not? You have to like them now. Do you like them? If you don't like them, I'm leaving. If you do like them, I want to know why you like them. And it was sort of like, I need to make my parents some money. I need to help my family. So do you like them or not?
Do you like paintings or not? Like, is this worth pursuing?
Right.
And he said yes.
He said yes. But then he
tried to help her out. And they were married.
Really
and he still didn't it's just so annoying. Yeah. I mean, she had surgeries, miscarriage, heartbreak, left and right, painted it all. Her art was her therapy. I mean, she was always a rebel.
Well, like I said, there's a couple things. I found something. I think I sent it to you. A couple things that I liked about her that just kind of, hold on one second, if I can find it real quick.
I did write a note saying that she dressed like a walking canvas with Tijuana dresses, flowers, jewelry for her body to become part of her art. Now that is
and I love that because that was where that was
embracing her culture and sharing it and living it to share.
Okay, I have to read this because I absolutely love this. Frida told her husband, "I'm not asking you to kiss me, nor apologizing when I think you're wrong. I won't even ask you to hug me when I need it the most. I don't ask you to tell me how beautiful I am, even if it's a lie, nor write me anything beautiful. I won't ever ask you to call me or tell me how your day was or tell me you miss me. Let's see. I won't ask you to thank me for everything I do for you, nor to worry about me when my soul is down. And of course, I won't beg you to support me in my decisions. I won't even ask you to listen to me when I have thousands of stories to tell. I won't ask you to do any of this, not even be by my side forever. Because if I've got to ask you, it really didn't mean anything.
It's kind of sad.
And it's kind of true.
True.
It's
sad that like she has to say it out loud like that, but it's true.
Right.
And it's brave. It's brave to acknowledge it openly.
Yes, it really was.
Yeah, I felt that
She was.
when I
did too. I thought that was, and I thought, I have always liked Frida. I've always been impressed by her. And then getting to know her story, I got even more impressed with the thought of, she embraced that Tijuana look, that, the almost like a costume look, because she looked down on the women of New York so much because they were always so worried about what they wore and they could never wear the same thing twice. And she's like, that's stupid, which I think is very brave.
Yeah.
She didn't run around trying to be who they were.
Right.
She didn't worry about, being like them.
And I can feel that too, because being brought up by an immigrant mom who used to make my clothes in elementary school and when I was a toddler, I loved what she made me and I would wear it despite that it wasn't Jordache brand or whatever.
Yeah.
You have to feel she wasn't making Korean clothes, but like for Frida, she's wearing her culture. And that was the billboard of sharing her culture and being like,
and that's really cool.
That's really whatever you're doing. This is what I'm doing. And I can do this anywhere I want. I'm not conforming just temporarily.
I have a problem with that now. It's like Bill gets on to me. He wants me to wear more flamboyant clothes, like louder colors. I like my black. I like, my subdued colors. I like my...
He's right. Stop hiding. My mom hides. She wears all earth tone clothes and she's so tiny. And I'm like, you have such a cute little body. You can like wear anything.
Exactly. She's beautiful.
But you too.
But see, I have the opposite. I have a more chunky body and I don't want to stand out. You know what I mean? But it's not going to change. Why not wear something wild and crazy? And I wish I would have embraced that more hippie artist style in myself.
You still can.
It's
not too late.
I can. I've got plenty of time, but that means I have to go shopping and I don't like to shop.
I know.
I'm not much of a shopper.
Yeah, so she had her exhibit laying in bed surrounded by laughter and mezcal and died at 47, leaving behind a legend of fierce, authentic, and unapologetic love.
Did you see where a group got caught trying to replicate her paintings?
No.
When I was doing some research on her, they have a group that's trying to replicate her stuff and pass it off as hers. It's really funny to me how many of these artists have people come out and say, oh, no, this is one of hers and is not one of hers.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that crazy?
No, I didn't know that. That's pretty bold.
Wasn't too many years ago either. It was like recently, like somebody went and said, look what we found, a whole bunch of Frida paintings. When they did the research on it, like the paints that were used, I don't know how they do that, but weren't indicative of the time.
Right. Yeah, like you have to be able to get your hands on that painting and like do some science.
Scrape test or something like that.
Yeah, that's how they do that. And that's ballsy to claim that and then play along with that, knowing that they're going to figure it out. Like it's dumb to do.
It's very dumb to do.
Like that whole jewelry heist last week. Like, so now what are you going to do with those jewels? How are you going to get rid of that? That's dumb. Anyway.
They'll tear them apart and figure something out.
What really blew my mind was when they got back together, they had a house. They had two separate houses, different styles that were connected by a hallway.
I'm sorry. I love that. I absolutely love that.
And I was like, ooh, at first I'm like, that's weird. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And fantasizing about it for a moment. And I'm like, that.
You know, it'd be cool. Now that you say that, it'd be cool.
Housekeeper, because I know you're not going to keep your side clean.
No, but it'd be cool is if you had two houses like that and the top in the middle was the bedroom and then downstairs was the hallway. So you could get up and go to your own space, go downstairs. And then if you wanted to visit each other, then go back to your space. You know what I mean? Like you literally had your own side,
right?
But you met in the middle You know,
That
I think that would be cool.
normal couples, they weren't having sex or anything, so they didn't want to sleep together. But he was so overweight, like, I mean, he probably snored really bad too. Like, who wants that? God.
Oh, that's so funny.
He was a cute fat guy, but like he wasn't, I just couldn't.
In what dimension?
Well, I mean, for a fat guy, like he was friendly and kind and like his features were round and soft and like he wasn't like a threatening looking fat guy. He was, you know.
No, he was playful.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. Like they said, his personality was very
And
playful.
yeah,
Very.
like a Mexican communist Santa, like in social atmosphere. But like I can't
Is
imagine.
that even a thing?
I don't know. But I'm like, I can't. How did she sleep at this?
Mexican communist Santa.
Well, that's what they.
So
Well, yeah, I don't know about the Mexican, but yeah. And then I'm like, with her hips and her ailments and stuff. I mean, he'd have to be on top or something. I'm like, my God.
I love you. I don't care.
The whole thing about being with him, I just
I don't want to envision it. I don't. There are some things in this world you do not need to envision.
oh my God,
That was one of them.
that was crazy. All right, yeah. I'm like, no.
Because my mind just went down this really bad hole of, like,
No.
was his belly so big it looked like a carrot? I mean, come on.
And then, he can't like put his weight on her. Never mind. Well, stop.
Okay. You gotta stop. Gotta stop.
I think we covered everything. She was a rebel and strong, cheeky, and followed her own drummer like since she was a child through all of this crap and became stronger and stronger after every trial and tribulation. Oh my God, monkeys and parrots. All the monkeys and
That's why I said carrot.
no, yeah, all the monkeys and parrots. They had like a sanctuary at the house with like all these like little monkeys and stuff.
Because everybody wanted her to paint monkeys.
But I'm also
She said there was
like, I don't know, does Mexico have monkeys? I'm like, I mean, maybe if she's close, like farther south, maybe.
Side note, I heard this week that Florida has monkeys. Who knew? Yeah.
Well, they're not going to last long with like all the other weird wildlife predators.
I wouldn't think so.
I don't know. Well, they are monkeys, so they can climb higher. Like they can escape from the gators and all that. I don't know about what else do you guys have? You don't have bobcats or things like that.
No, we have coyotes and bears. We have black bears here.
All right. Well, they can't.
The monkeys aren't here.
So I guess the monkeys
somewhere
would be
else.
safe. Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Monkeys in Florida. Jeez. Well, I mean, we have wallabies here in Hawaii.
I did not know that.
Yes. So probably a few decades ago, they escaped the zoo somehow. And then because of, I don't know, their nature or whatever, they just kind of like let them go. And so if you go hiking in the Manoa Valley area or side of the island, it's possible for you to run into them. But like I've never in any of my hikings, I'm always looking.
Right.
But I've never run into any, and I've never seen any pictures posted if anyone's run into them or anything, but they're out there. Some people have said that they've seen them out there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think that's it for
That's all.
our girl Frida. Kudos and cheers. Cheers to Frida.
Cheers.
And just go and live your life out loud, wild, and with free abandon.
There you go.
Be true to yourself. Throw on put some of that color from your headband on your body.
There you go.
And your face. My mom is constantly telling me, put some lipstick on because I let my hair go gray.
Yeah.
Or white and where it's going white because I just don't have time. I'm like, fuck it. I don't have time. This is just the way it is. But I recently bought stain and I love it.
That's a good idea. Where'd you get that?
Is if you're watching the video, yeah, I just have the stain on.
No, I took a picture yesterday with my grandbaby. And because I do have my gray and my blonde or whatever, I realized my lips look non-existent. So I had to go put a little bit of lipstick on it. But I like the stain idea. I have to get some of that.
It is true. My lips are disappearing. My eyebrows are getting thinner, I guess. I don't know. There is a tiny bald spot in the right one here where, from the 90s when we had pencil thin eyebrow. It's like, fuck that style. That's so dumb.
You could just grow one right straight across like Frida.
I know, that's you'll have ample eyebrow.
I wonder why she never cut that.
Well, because it's well, she even had, mustache.
The mustache, yeah. What's funny about that is you wonder, all these, as women, we always do all these makeup beauty things to make ourselves look more beautiful. But with people like Frida, who had the mustache and the one eyebrow and lovers like galore,
Mm-hmm.
do men really care about that stuff? You know what I mean? Like, is it really?
Is it for us or is it for them?
Right. I think it's for us.
I think it's for us, and we put that pressure on ourselves a lot. It's not just Mexico, but like, I think not just Europeans. It's like everywhere else back in those days outside of the United States. Every other country, everyone was just being their natural selves.
Yeah.
Here it was like, no, you can't be
become
yourself.
this.
You need to be this,
Yeah.
like, cleaned up version, and the fashion and the things. I would assume Paris is a little bit more fashion forward back in those days. Like here, but like the rest of it, I don't think they were concerned about.
I think that was one of the big things I loved about Hawaii, and I actually love about here, is they're both beach towns. And so unless you're going out like to a ball, even if you go out to listen to music night, nobody has a lot of makeup on. Nobody's overly caked on. I mean, there's times I don't even wear any. I may put lotion on, but like I don't have actual makeup on.
Yeah, day to day, I don't wear makeup. And sometimes I forget to look at my hair before I leave, and I've already just thrown it up when I woke up, and I haven't fixed it since then. So it's a little.
I've done that. Well, I had to run in there and do the blow dryer curler thing because I'd washed it this morning, and it was all like, I put it up in a bun, and then I took it down. It looked like wire, so I had to go in there before you called and fix it up a little bit.
Well, this purple hair from my witch party.
Good, thank you.
I left this color in for 3 hours on accident while I was painting, and so it'll probably be pastel by Christmas, I guess. I don't know.
It's a good color on you.
I know. I
suits
do
you.
like this purple color on my brown hair, but like on the white hairs, like 2 days ago, it was very electric purple in the front.
So what were your finish up questions? What did you say last time? Would you want to hang out with her?
Absolutely.
I would have in a heartbeat.
And a heartbeat. I would dance with her too. I don't know. See if she could seduce me. Who knows? I don't know.
Hey.
I would totally hang out and paint and talk, and you would probably want to talk
Her personality was
eyebrows.
Her personality was probably seductive. Like very intriguing. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't like most people, so people want to get to know her.
Right. And then
and the fact that she didn't want to get to know anyone made people want to know her.
Right.
I think,
and
personally, I think.
Let's see. Her studio was cluttered and messy, just like any studio.
Just like mine.
We didn't have to guess at that. I kind of have two spaces. I have like a working space and then like a storage space.
Mine is all in one. And Tanner put his, Tanner built that surfboard behind me from scratch. He formed the
Small one here.
What do you call it? The foam. He formed it all. He fiberglass the whole thing. He did the whole thing.
Like actual surfing surfboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was hitting him up for resin tips when he finished that.
Well, and the thing of it is, but all of his stuff that he, his things he built to shape it with and all that are out in my studio. So it's all of that with all of my stuff and some painting. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Yeah, I have, let me see if I can lift this. I have this guy here.
That's awesome.
My Tiki Santa. He's so cute.
He's very cute.
This studio's mess. Oh, all right. So what are the other questions? I lost my outline thing. Oh no, here they are. Yeah. Would you hang out with this person? Studio vibe. Would you or not borrow something from their style? I would borrow the concept of painting my feelings in my own style.
I would like to say I would do that.
I think that would be a challenge for you.
It would be. I think it would be
that might get some juices going for you.
Okay, you can cut this part out. But I think that's what we should be painting their paintings at the same time we're doing this instead of looking at each other. Like taking one of their paintings and recreating it
You
to
could
see.
put it on the side and just post it at speed just to promote these because I'm constantly looking at my notes and whatever.
Well, no, yeah, I'm not saying,
I can't do it all
because it's going to take us a while to do it. But like,
Yeah, we will.
I'm
We'll
working
pick
on it.
one. Yeah,
I'm working on that.
we'll work out the logistics. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So would you borrow anything from her style?
Yes, I liked. I don't know how to. It's going to come out weird. Like the flat look. I like. She's not a 2D person. She's just very. It's very flat. Like when she did the bed. The angle of the bed.
Mm,
It wasn't like a bed. It just looked like a flat bed.
right. With just
It
some
was. It was.
shadows and
It was one.
highlights, but yeah.
The one dimension, the one, it is what it is. It wasn't angle and you had to like get it right and perfect and it didn't have to look real. It just, you had to know what it was. I like that. And I like some of the colors she uses.
Yes.
And like I said, I
Oh.
think I should try painting my feelings, but I'm just not sure which personality to pick it from.
Well, just pick one and just go because it's for yourself. There's nothing else to
I
think
know.
about. Use up those.
So Chloe,
canvases.
I have to tell you something funny.
Pack of 10 for $20. Calm down.
So it's funny. Chloe, the other day asked Billy, says, she was asking us, so what's my favorite color? And we're telling her what we think her favorite color is. And she's like, no. And yes, because it used to be orange. And I'm like, I think it's orange, but you may have changed, blah, blah, blah. She goes, it's still orange, Mom. She looked at Bill. She goes, what's Mom's favorite color? And he goes, which personality? Jackass.
Billy's on point there.
Yeah, it's got a point.
On touching a little bit on your own personal woo-woo, do you know what your own aura is? What color do you feel?
What color my aura is?
Yeah.
No. I mean,
Interesting.
I see other people's.
And then what's my color?
To me, which means absolutely nothing to anyone else.
Right.
I mean, like I watch these aura things and they don't mean the same to me. To me, your aura is like an orangey, bright orange to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're very full of life. You're very fiery. But you can be very deep. Like I don't know. That's just
the
to me.
Cancer in me because I'm protective of my soft inside.
Yes.
I'm guessing. Okay, so let's see. The last question is personality peak. Which part of their personality is impossible to ignore? I think her boldness and bravery, like her abandon to like be herself all the time.
Yeah, that's a good one. Her just raw. She was just raw.
Yeah.
She's just raw.
I mean, I can get there if I have enough shots.
That's funny. That's what we should do. Shots. There you go. No, she was raw and.
I have a coffee drink today.
Oh, so I guess that's it.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
We have a follow-up idea person for next time, but we'll try to do more frequently. So please subscribe, follow, and rate. Sharing is caring to expand.
And go easy on us. This is we're figuring it out. We'll get our groove.
Mm-hmm.
Kim and I both like to talk over each other, not meaning to, but just we both get, I got an idea, And
well, we got squirrels and we're trying.
Yes.
We're working on ourselves. And I think that's it.
Which leads to your other podcast you have about the squirrels.
Order of the Squirrels. Follow
Order
that.
of the Squirrels.
Me and my art friend Rhea Yap. Order of the Squirrels podcast. And then, like I said in the earlier one, next Saturday, I'll be at the Hickam Arts and Crafts Festival on Hickam Air Force Base. So if you have access to the base, if not, go grab a friend that does and come on and buy Christmas crap.
There you go.
Some Christmas gifts, actually.
So is there a local artist to Rhode Island that you grew up with?
Interesting.
Really?
No, I didn't really have access to that community, but I was very drawn to Fair Street. Now, Fair Street in Providence, Rhode Island, is where Brown University students and Rhode Island School of Design students meet.
Okay.
Smarty pants and eclectic. And
everything on that street, all the businesses, all the coffee shops, all the shops, all the record stores, all the surplus, like there's so much culture on that street. We used to take our, like while our parents were at work and we were in middle school, taking the bus into the city, hanging out there, going to the Benetton shop, going to In Your Ear record shop. We were buying cassettes of bootleg U2 before they hit it big, and then
Damn.
home to listen to it and layer all around Katie's living room, listening to these bootleg tapes and talking about it and singing out loud. And like these are the things that our generation is hoping that our kids would get back to, out and put the phone down and do stuff like that. But like, yeah, my only art influences were my art teachers, my art teacher in elementary school, and then Mr. Fraccaretta in middle school. They were always very encouraging, using my stuff as examples. My stuff was always up in the banks and stuff like that. Yeah,
That's cool.
I didn't have any exposure to actual artists. They didn't have like art lessons and stuff like that for kids.
We have in Gulfport, George, I think it was George Orr.
Mm-hmm.
George Orr O'Keefe. It was George, not Georgia, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta remember. But we had that artist, and then we also had Walter Anderson, which is a neat one. We ought to do he has a documentary on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a neat one to do one on. He was a hermit.
Oh, interesting.
I'll do some research on it, and
maybe we can do them one of these.
yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's
All right, ma'am.
for that. Until next time, everyone.
Cheers. Salud.
Ding.